this sort of news is like, I think, right in Sony's face, in my opinion, and it's in a lot of the haters' faces as well. Because let's just be real, Microsoft hasn't had the best couple of weeks, and when people are actually out there talking about what the future holds for Xbox, what the future holds for PlayStation, what everybody has on their mind for gaming and that kind of stuff, I think we're starting to see a little bit of a trend. So the one thing that I thought was very interesting in regards to a lot of the hate that Xbox has been getting lately is, and I'll be honest, I can't put down Redfall. I think about it a lot. When I'm working, I can't wait to get home and play it. I think it's just a fun game. And I've been very honest about the fact that I wasn't a big fan of Arcane's other games. I wasn't a big fan of Prey. I wasn't a big fan of, Dishonored or Dishonored 2. But I like this game. And it's a shame. I mean, I know we won't get another one, but everybody was hating on it. And the funniest thing is like, let's say, just use this for an instance. I would put out a screenshot for the game, and I put out a screenshot for a lot of the games that I play. But I'll put out a screenshot of the game, and it gets so much hate garnered towards it, right? It's just really unbelievable. And I'm sitting there going, this is crazy. The amount of hate that I get, and the things that people are saying. Oh, you're a shill, you're lying, this, blah, blah, blah. It looks like a 360 game. Nobody is really saying, oh, well, I played it and, you're right, or I played it and I didn't like it. It's just people saying that they hate the game without playing it. And that doesn't really jive with me. I don't understand how that's a thing, but now we have a little bit of an idea that the game's actually being, surprise, surprise, kind of a success. Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. It's a game that reviewed poorly. That sucks. But at the same time, people like to try things, right? And I applaud them for that. So if you were willing to give this game a try, then applaud is coming your way. Good job. Redfall has found a player base at launch on Xbox despite the poor reviews. It's obviously faced a lot of criticism from critics since its release last week, so much so that Xbox head Phil Spencer publicly apologized for the game's failure to meet fan expectations. Even with the game not being well received by many, the game had charted highly on Xbox's ecosystem during launch week. You can actually look at Microsoft website, and it's a good gauge to look at and see like what's getting played and things like that. And it shows at the time of this, Redfall was in the top 10 most played overall on console, and the second most played game on Game Pass on console. So it was right behind Minecraft on that. So that goes to show you, incredibly well what's going on. And what I thought was very interesting was the games in front of it for most played overall are mostly like the free-to-play behemoths like Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone, Roblox, Apex Legends, those type of games, and it's actually just basically only behind in terms of newer games like Jedi Survivor. So yeah, this is really nice to see, and I think it probably takes Microsoft by surprise as well. And for me, it's like shove it right up there. You know what I mean? Like, everybody was hating on this game, and they go, and this is what people say to me, right? They go, well, guess what? Probably, people played it and then turned it off or what have you. And the way that Microsoft's thing works, the way that they, like the most played games and stuff, they accrue the hours, the amount of hours that people put into a game, and that's how they curate their lists. So it doesn't count if you just load it up, play it for 5 minutes and stop. It's not going to get accrued into a bunch of time. And, that's really, really unfortunate, to say the least. Now, I do think that obviously the game's far from perfect. I've seen some people I know that are playing it say, hey, this game is a, 8, and I think that's cool. I give it like a 7, 7.5, and I think that is, right where kind of the wheelhouse is for this game. A very good game, a very fun game, a game that has a lot going for it, but I also think obviously it's not a game for everyone. Like, what game is? That's something that you hear a lot these days, right? Oh, well, here's a game, and it's not a game for everyone, but it is a fun game or whatever. So yeah, like, to be honest with you, it's kind of crazy to think, but again, you know, it's crazy to think that how much has changed for gaming over the past few years or whatever, you know, and I think things are starting to happen in a positive manner for Microsoft. Like, if they can get that deal with Activision approved, if they can get some of the things in place that they want to get done, then they're going to be much better set. So literally, for all the hate that Xbox is getting and this game is getting, it's like this game is actually performing pretty well, and people seem to be, the ones that are actually playing it, are actually enjoying it. So, you know, again, I notice a stark parallel when it comes to Microsoft versus Sony and the way that people kind of react to different things. Like, Sony recently closed down a studio. Sony also canceled a AAA PvP shooter that they were supposedly funding. Again, these are things that if Microsoft were to do these things, everybody would be talking about it, right? Everybody would be saying mismanagement, you know? And at the end of the day, like, I happen to think that what Sony's dealing with right now themselves is nothing more than what Microsoft had to deal with for, you know, the short term as well, right? And that's just really the facts to me, right? Like, the pandemic affected everybody. I think it affected Sony. Sony didn't have the games announced that Microsoft had. If they had 15 games announced as well and then got hit with a pandemic, I am 100% positive that they would be struggling with the same issues. That's why we haven't seen a bunch of games announced, right? But it's like Sony gets a pass on everything that they do, and it's super unfortunate because Microsoft really, really tries hard, and they try to be very open with the fans and things like that. So it's really a shame when this kind of stuff happens, and people just like don't want to give Microsoft a chance, or they'll give Sony, you know, basically they give Sony all the credit in the world, and you know, it's just unfortunate that that's the case. You know, Microsoft, I think, deserves some benefit of the doubt along the way as well. But to me, this is like a little, you know, because people are so quick to judge everything these days, and like online is like the ultimate thing. You know, everything is just garbage. Everybody's so negative. You know, it's garbage. You know, everything's garbage according to, you know, unless it's a PlayStation game, you know, everything else is garbage. And then even if it's a PlayStation game that scores poorly, then, you know, it's actually better than they say, than the reviews say, and it must have been paid off and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, a little crazy to think the way that things work out, but still very interesting to say nonetheless. I'm going to link this in the description. You can check it out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Rack 'em up. This has been Crap Gamer of Crap Gamer Reviews. Crap Gamer out.